Next up is a sustainable way to be fashion forward.
Hey, I'm Mia. Let me introduce the #1 jumpsuit, MONOSUIT. Ladies love jumpsuits, but in nature's call is drama. Half naked in a restroom, such a mental trauma. Robert, do you think my MONOSUIT's ironic? It's iconic. Let me explain. I turn ocean plastics into MONOSUIT. MONOSUIT. It's my eco hack. It's my global impact.
Outstanding performance.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Good job.
Can I have that one on the end? Oh, that is so me.
My ask is 150,000 for 5% of equity.
Okay.
Welcome back, super entrepreneurs, to another Shark Tank Tales. We have another super entrepreneur here that was just recently on Shark Tank, season 15, episode 4, if I'm not mistaken, of Shark Tank. I need whatever you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing and give some super claps for Super Mia. Welcome, Super Mia. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I'm just so impressed.
Oh, no, you're impressed. I'm impressed. I mean, you're the one that's like actually making a change, trying to make changes in not just one aspect of our lives on the eco front, but the fashion world as well. And women's lives from feeling, I don't know, awkward in the bathroom, I guess you should say, is what you would say.
Yeah, it's like I love shocking people. There's also another shocking moment, as far as I understand, for many people, was that I'm rapping in the Shark Tank. There was like a weird thing to do,
Yeah, I mean, look, it is it's crazy that you were able to pull that off in such a way that they were able to show it in a respectful way in a family TV show.
It was honestly speaking heavily censored. There was a moment that was a little bit cut it or kind of there went through the heavy pre-clearance, I would say. Even the moments that the color of panties they're supposed to wear underneath, there was pre-cleared as well.
So I was wondering about that because, I didn't know if it was like a suit under the suit or if it was just like underwear that was like taller or something. I don't.
It's honestly speaking, it's supposed to be just like a string panties, but because it's like a family show. There was they asked us to wear as much covering panties as possible. That's why it maybe confusingly look like there is another bodysuit underneath, but no, it's just a very kind of covering old style babushka's panties we are wearing.
Did you say barber's panties? Is that what you said?
Babushka. I mean, babushka.
Babushka.
Grandmother style. Kind
yes. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were saying barber style. Well, barber like Barbara Corcoran style.
I don't know what kind of panties she's normally wearing. It's just I cannot comment on that. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately.
Oh, man. Well, Mia, I gotta ask, how are you feeling in this moment, getting ready to walk down the hallway here?
Yeah, I was honestly speaking super nervous, and I have very interesting feeling in my head happening. I feel like how it's called, mind divided moments from I actually have those mind divided moments only in for example, in a car accident. I have the same feeling when at the same time one part of your brain keeps saying that, oh, it's happening. It's happening. Are we at Shark Tank? It's happening. And another part of the brain saying that, Mia, you need to control yourself. Focus. It's happening. Focus. like all these things and I'm trying to integrate those parts together, saying, guys, you need to kind of keep working together because it's just we need to focus because of and it's like a divided mind happening because probably I was so stressed out. Honestly speaking, it was my first ever experience in my life being exposed to millions of people at the same time. I know that it's just in front of you 4 sharks are sitting, but you have that feeling of you've got exposed to millions because of I mean it's all that I feel that pressure, you know.
Yeah, and you know, especially, I mean, the sharks tend to yell and talk over each other. So, like, as somebody that's about to go on the show and knowing, you know, most likely knowing that, that is, you know, it's like, am I going to be able to, you know, handle the barrage of questions and then but not only that, like, you're walking out and not just saying hi sharks, we're going out there and we're doing a whole song, which we definitely need to talk about here.
Yeah.
So was there, well, my first question is
expressions. Oh my god, oh my god, it's just memes. It was just spread out into memes in certain magazines. They just start showing those like a cringy kind of thing. And people I thought I saw that in an Instagram of Shark Tank, they said, this is if the person were a cringe, is this girl, I mean this woman is a cringe, really.
Oh, come on. I thought
just, why?
Well, look, you can pause any video at any time and get like one of these or something like that. You know, it's just, it comes with the territory of being filmed or photographed, right? Yeah.
Like
you know, so
what's the right word? Being vulnerable. What's the right pronunciation? Vulnerable, like fragile. To just be honest, be yourself. Vulnerable. What's the right? Vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
I know if you were saying it in a different language, like a different word in this language. Yes. Being vulnerable, yeah.
Vulnerable, yeah. Kind of.
And you're walking there, you know, in a, I mean, not a naked suit, but like, you know, a skin tight suit, you know, in front of millions of people and about to perform this song. My first question about the song was there actual music playing when you got to sing it, or were you just singing a cappella?
Great question. So is the actual performance. So they just put on the music that I actually produced myself with the help of my friends, musicians. We kind of created the whole track together. This track was pre-proofed, pre-clear that it was not copyright of somebody, it was just original. And they put it on and I have a microphone and just literally it was like Rihanna is doing the same. There was a music playing, she's got a microphone and she just needs to go for it. I mean, it's just real artist performance.
You know, I kind of, well, I knew, or I felt that was the case because you can hear when the backing track comes in play that like that was behind you, like, you know, but it wasn't there before. So it's not like there was a backing track the entire time. It's this is your voice and then there's a backing track at some point. So to me, that's a telltale sign that you are actually singing. I just wasn't sure if the music, like I know when you're walking down the hall, there's no music, right? So I wasn't sure if that was a thing that, like in your case, they were just like, yeah, go out there and do it a cappella, and everybody's supposed to like do the dance moves with no, you know, beat to do it to.
It's interesting for me as a kind of a musician myself, doing the a cappella, and when if you put a music on the top of a cappella, it's very difficult to match it together because you can super easily will be out of the rhythm because of you just need to hear that beat in order to be all the time like on the notes and on the top of the music. Even if I said if I did it in a cappella way, it will be very difficult to match it with the music afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when you make music videos, you play the music and you're just mouthing the words to the music.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
it's the swing of the song, right? And that's so as a DJ, which not everybody here knows I'm a DJ, but if you can see my turntables over here. Doing mashups with acapella and
DJ
instrumentals is it's tough. It's not that easy because it's not always 1 2 3 4. Sometimes it's like 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Like it starts at a different spot where it starts on 4 instead of 1, and you got to know that to go with the swing of the song, like how they're going with the track. So
I rehearsal 200 times in order to make sure that in every single
you counted how many times it would take to record that or to rehearse that?
Quite good feeling of the time and counts because my second education is finance. I'm a CPA as well. And I have that very good feeling of kind of calculating automatically in myself. I have like autopilot of calculating everything.
Well, that is something. So you wrote the song. Did you produce the song?
I wrote the song. I made it reviewed by native speaker because of course I'm not native speaker. I also use ChatGPT-4 in order to help me with some rhymes. It's interesting that you cannot use everything exactly, but you can use it as a source tool as well. And also who else was involved? I have my friends who are professional in music production, electronic music production, and I came to them saying that I have some melody in my head, like hey, I'm Mia, let me introduce the #1 jumpsuit, MONOSUIT. Can you, and I asked them, can you do something like Nicki Minaj kind of vibe, kind of catchy, but we need to develop something that gonna be catchy for the white audience. Even the people who are like 70 years old and 17 years old will still gonna be kind of engaging to that kind of 80s a bit vibe. And we start developing together basically in a studio and playing around. There was a LA producer, 2 LA producers, and like how we normally perform any songs that I'm performing and creating. I mean, not performing, creating. Mm-hmm.
So was it your idea to do a song in the first, like to put yourself through the gauntlet of Shark Tank, running a business, and let's produce a song to do this, and not just like a 10-second or like a 30-second jingle or something, but like it felt like a minute and a half or 2 minutes on the show?
Yeah, that's amazing question. At the beginning, I thought, and then I was during the casting, I pitch in a regular way. But since I'm kind of almost every day involved in music things, I remember that moment that I was at Miami Beach, just making some jogging exercises, and I thought that, why I cannot do a pitch in a rapping song? Since I'm a songwriter, why I cannot do just the whole pitch as a song? It's just why I should do it in a boring way, because I'm a creative person. I'm involved in fashion and the music and fine art. And why it's gonna be easy? Because rapping is just a super fun thing to do. It's not like I don't know, some other genres like I don't know, classic music or opera, or maybe some kind of opera might be interesting. Actually, pitch in the form of opera might be my second challenge. So yeah, it was just some of the random crazy idea, and I felt those goosebumps, and I thought, oh my God, that crazy idea, I need to share it with the producers. By the way, producers of Shark Tanks, super cool, amazing, funny people. We have every week, we have Zoom calls, rehearsals, questions. I gone through the so-called due deal with my company. They ask all sort of documents. I mean, I've never, even my CPA or auditors, they haven't asked so many documents. They check everything. And and I just said that, Megan, do you think it might be a super crazy idea if, since I'm a musician, for me songwriting is like kind of natural thing, if I'm, instead of just saying the pitch, I'm just rapping it out? And she just, I need to listen to your song first. Okay, I'm just absolutely open. I just super critical to myself. If you don't like it, no worries. Ordinary pitches will be fun too. And they come back to me the next week and saying that, Mia, it's actually for you kind of pitching in a musical way. It sounds super organic because you have super kind of weird, strange, nice, songs, and you have that accent, and might be very interesting, might be potentially viral. Why not to do it? Let's try. Even we can always come back to the regular pitch if something doesn't work out.
Yeah. Oh, that is awesome to hear. I mean, as creatives, as a creative myself, we're just glutton for punishment. We just love that. Like, hey, this is already a tough task at hand. Let's make it a little harder on ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like you are. You are. I mean, as a DJ, I don't know, for the creative people, I absolutely agree. We have that connection and synergy probably with you saying that. Why not to make it harder, even more challenging? Because it sounds like a bit, more ambitious. Honestly speaking, for me, being playful and be creative, if I have any room of opportunity to be creative and to expose my creativity even more, for me, it's easier rather than go into the routine direction and that everybody goes. For me, for some reason, easier to go that strange creative way and just finding my own road and finding the path rather than going through somebody's path, repeating something.
No, absolutely
Inspiring immediately.
Well, it was inspiring. I was very blown away by the fact that you took it upon yourself to do this and to make it not just like, again, like a 20-second thing, but like turn, I don't know, was it a minute and a half?
It was about 2 minutes.
I know I think I had to chop. It was so long I had to chop some of it up for the copyright too, because it wouldn't go through. Here on YouTube.
There was, by the way, a couple of lines that were cut out of the song, maybe because of the length, but maybe because it was, I don't know, somebody don't like it. I can share it because anyway, they are cool. There was a line like, just let me remember. Best. So let me remember that line. So Madonna, Paris Hilton too. Something like Kylie Jenner, Madonna, Paris Hilton too. So now Barbara, now it's time for you. And it's like everybody's wearing it, and like Barbara, now it's time for you. And like all the sharks start like because of course the Barbara is like a solid entrepreneur, a kind of legit, and like wearing the body tight suit. In her like 60s or 70s. It was just hilarious, and then everybody just started laughing. I don't know why they cut it out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Barbara didn't like it, but it was fun. Oh my God, it was such a fun. Like Barbara, like
So, all right, let's jump into like what, from your perspective, why do you feel the Sharks gave you such a hard time, or had a hard time making that connection between the different spaces that the business works or operates within, right? The technology, the eco aspect, the fashion aspect. Why? Like what are we missing, right? Like obviously you were there for a lot longer than the time that they showed you on the show. So like, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, my perspective, it's really a very good question, and it has let me approach it into several ways because of there were some factors that probably kind of from the shark side, and there are some factors that I might be more clear in what I'm trying to deliver. So from the shark perspective, honestly speaking, when I applied into the show, we are together with our internal mentors and the investors. We assess that if there will be no Robert or the guest shark, it's very kind of long shot to get an investment, because those shark, and except for Robert, they didn't have even one example of investing in premium fashion or high fashion or technological fashion, and not telling about sustainable fashion. So that means that they probably will not gonna buy it, the concept itself, even if I try hard. But I till the last moment, I still did. I mean, I try to do my best in order to convince them, even I feel they don't have an experience in fashion. For example, Mark also asked me a question: why do you go to the fashion shows? For me, it's like honestly speaking, I was just, why he asking that? It's quite obvious question, but I mean, for me, because I'm involved and I'm every day in fashion, and for every solid fashion brand, there is quite basic things that you need to have several foundational components. You need to have design in place. You need to have a technology. Basically, even if you are talking about the design is always have two components: aesthetics and technology behind it. It's, I mean, the good fashion. It's not like some sort of hoodies. Even the hoodies need to have some technology, but it's super basic. But let's and the like 3 components is like a must have. Otherwise, you are not competitive brand. It's design, technology behind it, and ideally a sustainable component nowadays. Maybe 50 years ago, it was not that important. For example, let's take Louis Vuitton brand. Louis Vuitton has a design of, let's say, bags, and they have special technology to produce those bags. They have special machines they developed. They have special approach. They have special seams. They have special type of leather they developed as well. It's not like they design just aesthetics and put whatever kind of equipment in order to they protect those approach. Those people have a special skills in order to produce that half manual, half machinery. I mean, those bags, and also some of the leather, it's from the recycled, I mean, materials they have. Let's take another example of, let's say, Uniqlo. Maybe it's mass market, but also quite good example to explain. Uniqlo have quite basic functional design, but at the same time, they have very nice technology. Instead of sewing the things, in majority of in some of them clothes, or in some part of the clothes, they use glue. So they basically glue fabrics together. So they use certain technologies, and it's not like those technology might be potentially at the market, but they combine them in a certain way to get this particular product. And they also have some components related to sustainability. So, and when they start asking, you are here and there, you are technology or design or sustainability, honestly, at first point, I was just, wow, they kind of do not understand how the fashion industry working. And for me, being under stress there, I was just, I was a little bit like this, wow, they do not understand how the fashion works just in general, and I need to start from scratch. I'd explain how the whole industry working before going into that deep technological seamless sustainable circular economy thing. And I just, oh my God, I mean, just another thing is that being under stress, sometimes my mistake was I didn't sometimes find the right words to explain things. And since I'm not a native speaker, sometimes I just need a time to process. And honestly speaking,
Tough there.
yeah, and they didn't make me kind of discount for that I'm not a native speaker. So they give me time to think, okay, you are from like Eastern Europe, we will give you another 30 seconds to think. No, of course, no any kind of compromises. And the most stressful moment for me, honestly, and if I kind of can back in the future, back in the past, maybe I'll back in the future someday.
Yeah, we're gonna DeLorean here. It's all good.
If I were back in the past, I would train myself, put myself in a situation, because I have not dealt with that situation before. Can you imagine? I stand in front of the maybe 10 different cameras from the various angles, and 5 sharks in front of me, and they keep asking me questions at the same time, kind of interrupting each other. And if I start thinking, I just 10 seconds about one question, they throw me second question, and then I'm just start thinking about the second, they throw me third question. And I was just, guys, stop. I was just about to say, guys, stop. Can I answer just one by one? And of course, because they are kind of mature people, and I'm just much younger than they are millionaires, and I'm just, guys, shut up. Obviously I cannot. So,
That would have been a moment.
yeah, maybe I should do that. But for me, obviously, I need to find more intelligent way and polite way to kind of facilitate all the questions. But I was, first of all, under stress. Then I was not a native speaker. Then I'm trying to deal with millionaires behaving a little bit like a kid. They are amazing. They're super cool people. But it's all about me dealing with dealing with that stress. So I need to train myself in advance in order to dealing with probably the crowd of people shouting and throwing the question to me, like because honestly speaking, before I haven't faced with a situation that people just throw me the question and there is always there is a facilitator or some people kind of leading the conversation, and I'm kind of answering in certain order. But I was just struggling. Barbara, I will ask you a question. Then Mark, just wait. I will answer your question first, and then I will switch. And I was just back and forth, and they starting to discuss. Kind of instead of listening to me, they starting to discuss their potential answer to their questions, kind of answering instead of me. And I was just it was a bit struggle. It was difficult, and I need to, if I now I knew it, but I hope I knew it before, and that will help me to deliver my message in a more clear way. And I need to be more prepared that people might ask me, because I was prepared to be answered very complicated, deep questions about the technology, about the revenues, about everything. But I wasn't prepared to answer very simple questions, like always like maybe when I'm asking those questions, is it a joke or what? It's like quite obvious, kind of. I was just processing those like should I answer it because it might sound disrespectful, because it's kind of the answer is quite simple, so I need to adjust. I don't know, it's the whole stress I've gone through. But again, coming back to that comments of the sharks saying that I'm here and there, I strongly disagree. Even it was interesting, even the models standing there, just when we just finished, they just, Mia, how come they didn't get that in the fashion industry? There is like a, yeah, especially that that black moment. She's like all the models fantastic. The black model was just starting like, why they didn't get it? It's just obvious that there's always design, technology, and sustainability is just the kind of three milestones that every fashion brand is about. Why it's here and there? Because if you are only a technological fashion brand without any aesthetics, you will not be competitive at all. If you're just aesthetics like beautiful dresses, it's not. You cannot compete with people with the companies at the market. And if you're just about sustainability, but producing ugly, things like robes without any technology, it's again, yeah. And telling about my product, it's kind of, I would call that iPhone kind of approach, because it contains everything at once. It's not fabric, it's yarns produced from the abundant fishing net that we collect from the ocean, because the biggest polluter, by the way, in the ocean is the fishing net from commercial fishing. And our technology is focusing on recycling nylon, and nylon is a type of plastic. Obviously in a TV show, during the longer conversation, I explain everything to them, but it was cut because it may be too boring. So what we are doing, we build the whole infrastructure of several companies and individual contractors. Some of them is collecting the fishing net, abundant fishing net. They bring it to the factory. That factory is recycled into the powder and then into the yarns, into the threads. It's like it's white powder became in the white threads, and then we bring it into another factory. Everything is in Italy basically. Another factory is producing using the tube method and using the seamless machines. It's like a gigantic machines pre-programmed for a specific design that I created. This is, by the way, is logo MONOSUIT all over the place. I developed this pattern. So those machines are like producing them like women tights, similar methods.
So it's not like this where it's like on. Well, this is actually stitched, but
yeah, it's
something on top. It's like on top of it, like a DTG. Is it called direct to garment?
Kind of embroidery, or kind of glue the letters on the top of it.
Yeah, so that's not what's happening there. What you're doing is it's like sewing it to get like the fabric, or not fabric, the
so
strings thread together in that color, like in that pattern, to make it all like one piece.
Exactly. So you're wearing, I would call it traditional cotton sew. Maybe sorry for my pronunciation. Cotton sew.
The hoodie?
So yeah,
we're talking about the hoodie, like
this is traditional. Like in order to produce your piece, traditional one, you need to have just a roll of fabric, and you just spread it out, put the pattern on the top of it, just
and you're kind of I see what you're saying.
And then glue it all together using just regular machines. But in order to produce this one, you need, again, collect that fishing net, recycle into the powder, then make the yarns out of the powder, put those yarns, it's just super tiny threads, like yarns, into that sewing seamless machines. And using the tubular methods, it's produced the whole piece like a tube. For example, I can show you, there is no seam here, seam. That it's like a tube.
Yeah. Well, as a runner, I can appreciate that. I wish all my compression shorts had no seams.
Yeah, it's like super soft. And then it's actually, honestly speaking, it's you see that there is a letters, and it's all white colors, but some of the yarns, they twist it in a certain way, and some of the yarns are twisted in another way. And it's when you dye in it, I mean coloring it in an additional facility, you bring it to additional facility and color it down to one color. This became visible as a lighter pink, and this became visible as a darker pink. So it's not like two colors of yarn, it's just different types of yarn absorbing the color in a different way. It's a super advanced type of technology, and it's super soft. It feels like a battery, silky soft, and it's super stretchy. It's just
Yeah. No, you do. It looks like you do have a seam under here, like I do, though. Is that a seam? That's
yeah, and it still has some seams because when you kind of we knitted it in tube, this is also produced as a kind of tube, and you still need to attach the sleeves, but it has as minimum seams as possible, because there is no even equipment yet exists on the planet Earth that can produce it as a tube with like 3 tubes. Like, even 5 tubes, like legs.
And 2 R's.
We actually tried it once, and we have that like a 5 tubes or something, but unfortunately fitting not good. It has like an extra space here, and it was not good. That's why with back it partially kind of to cut and sew method.
Well, so I mean that answers a lot of questions that I had about how, like, so how, well, I guess how are you harvesting these nets? Like, because I feel like it would be hard to find nets unless instead of like dumping the net, like, hey, we could just dump this net in the water. We'll send it to Mia instead. Is that like what's happening, or is there like, well, because I know we have like the trash continent in the Pacific. But it's like that I thought that was mostly like plastic bottles and like things like that, not necessarily net there.
Yeah, since our technology is specifically focused on nylon, and all fishing nets are made from nylon, and nylon is a type of plastic. We cannot. I wish I have a technology, but maybe not right now, but maybe in the future, not yet, that can, but I know that some brands actually have that technology. They focusing on specifically plastic bottles, because you cannot just feed the machine everything we collect from the ocean. You need to segregate it, and for each particular waste you need a specific chemistry, like a
chemical break, like to break it down, like maybe a specific heat, temperature and things like that, so you're not like melting it to nothing, you're melting it down to a powder. So
that's why we have garbage segregation, I mean in general, that exists, and it's because certain equipment is focusing to recycle certain type of waste, and our technology is focusing on specifically on nylon. We also recycled abundant carpets as well, because carpets are made from nylon majority. So if we have we have basically several contractors all over the world who are sourcing those. They actually collecting those fishing nets. Sometimes it's like they collaborate with some Bay Area or ocean area governmental bodies, or so it's all like, it's not like they randomly doing something in the ocean. They need to get certain permissions in order to do that, and it's more or less they doing it in I would say it's not like a one person with a small boat kind of doing it. It's like the ships collecting. It's in a how I can call it. It's not a commercial way, but it's more like I'm trying to find the right word. It's not like individuals. It's more like
like the
several-
company, like they're going to the companies and being like, "Hey, we'll take your broken fishing nets."
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it-
Yeah. So to
it's
say, like, how are you gonna go out in the ocean and be like, "Yeah, let me go find fishing net that just happens to be at the top of the water or even at the bottom of." I don't know. I guess it would float.
yeah. So we specifically put
That's too random to be making a bunch of monosuits, you know? Like you gotta have a source of like cooking oil, right? Where it's like, oh, we're gonna make biodiesel fuel. Like you wouldn't just be like, maybe we'll get some from, you know, maybe it comes into like this area or that area. Like you go to the people that are using it and like, hey, we'll get rid of it for you.
yeah,
Give it
there's
to us.
specific areas then where we have a lot of abundant fishing nets. It's like a North Seas and North Oceans in also
Crab
in
fishing.
in the Atlantic Ocean as well. And
Yeah.
we have some contractors that are kind of sourcing from Atlantic Ocean. There are some contractors that are bringing those fishing nets from the like a north, close to north. There are the salmon and other.
The salmon. Yeah, I said crab. That was dumb on me. That my parks. They probably aren't using nylon to get crabs, but go ahead.
Yeah. So when I kind of built together the whole infrastructure together, it was like I check every single contractor. I go there and check if what they are doing, if they are reliable, and why I referring earlier to iPhone. It's actually a little bit the same approach. All technologies within the iPhone, they were there before the iPhone, but entrepreneurial kind of brain or personality came and said, why not to combine them all together and make a new cool high-tech product? And that was my approach. Basically, I knew that there were some people who are removing certain nylon, some fishing nets and carpets for recycling purposes and bringing somewhere. And there are some factories who are recycling nylon, and there are some factories who are producing seamless clothes, and there are some factories who are dyeing specifically seamless clothes, because dyeing for seamless is different, absolutely different than dyeing just the fabric. And there are some also, like me as a designer, designing the things, and I'm putting the zippers again, and I just combine everything like in one product together, all these things at once. And I cannot say that I specifically developed myself some of those technologies, but what I developed is just bringing them all together and and creating the design. And what I developed myself is just putting and adding those, applying those zippers on the top of that amazing high-tech product. That is, by the way, breathable, antibacterial, hyperallergic. It's thermal. People also buying it as a base layer, as a second skin under the ski suit or like a skating suit. Also very cool for the yoga, because it's if you are in a hot weather, it makes you chill. If you are in a cold, it makes you feel warm, because it has special twist of the yarn, and it has special knitting kind of I wish to show you some, like a 3D rendering or something. So the way how you knit things, how you knit the yarns, it's also affect the stretchiness, the breathability, how thermal is it, how warm or how cold is it. It's basically high-tech product. It's like, I would call it Tesla as compared to regular, like a gasoline car.
Like a base model gasoline car.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I mean, it is that is awesome. I love that that you are finding those ways to get specific plastics, nylon in this case, and getting those sources. A question that came up in my mind when rewatching your pitch earlier tonight was, now they mentioned Lululemon. Now, do you see them as a competitor? Maybe not today, but maybe in the future.
Potentially, potentially all these yoga brands might have something similar, but I guess they need to be a nerd like me to combine this all together, because it's really quite, I mean, difficult. And also those zippers on the butt, those allocation of zippers and the design itself, we got protection, legal protection through the, I don't know if you're familiar with that so-called Madrid Convention, when you apply for the protection worldwide through one patented like a bureau. And it was surprisingly, frankly speaking, I have so many doubts that zippers on the butt can be protected, but we got that. I mean, it's just wow. I've got honestly speaking, I has been working for Ernst and Young. That is, a consulting company. It's like
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, as because I'm a CPA and also investment advisor. I'm involved in finance as well, and I have so many cool friends from Ernst and Young, and one of them is intellectual property lawyers, and that Mia, we will do it for you whatever kind of we will find out, because technically, honestly speaking, it's so-called non-conventional, non-traditional type of protection, but if Lululemon will gonna have the same type of product with the same technical characteristics and a zippers on the butt, we can quite easily protect it during the litigation. Because can you imagine, like 3 years ago, Vivienne Westwood, because we started producing it I guess in 2018, Vivienne Westwood, just a year after we start producing those zippers on the butt, she presented the collection where was a jumpsuit with the zippers on the back, exactly the same. I don't know, maybe it was just a coincidence, or that the second reason is most probable. Majority of fashion brands, they used interns from the schools like St. Martin's, but by the way, I was studied in St. Martin's, and some of those students, we kind of studied together and sharing things, and they're always looking for something new, and they just bring that idea to Vivienne Westwood, and she said, okay, and we actually sent the letter to the lawyer of Vivienne Westwood, and they replied to us, and they actually quit the commercial production of the jumpsuit.
Really?
Yeah, it works. It worked out.
So one of the a fan of a member of our super community. I was talking to her about her product. She has it's like a hijabi. So it's there's a was it hijabi?
Yeah, it's like the silky.
Yes, and then the hood goes over it, like and it's all built into a hoodie, right? And she ran into, I want to say it was either Adidas or Puma. I want to say it was Adidas. They started producing a similar thing, but she has the patent for it. And now, so she's like, well, I have up to 6 years to like do something about it. And she's like, I maybe I'll just hold off and just see where they go with it, right? Because maybe it brings more attention to the space, and I can kind of ride off of that a little bit, and then hit them with the lawsuit down the road when they've done the more of the marketing, labor that she doesn't have all the funding to be able to do, because she's not Adidas or Puma or one of the big ones. But yeah, so like something to that effect it's difficult, especially when you talk about something that we're talking about the placement of a zipper. A zipper exists. You didn't invent zippers. It's just like, wow. I don't know. The patent world is both awesome and terrible and horrifying all together, especially like patent trolls. They're like, oh, I'll just patent like a whole bunch of stuff, and then we'll just wait for somebody else to come up with the same idea, and they're not selling it. They're not trying to push anything forward. They're just like, hey, I paid the money for the patent, so
Yeah.
where's my money? You know.
Yeah.
So how did you go about coming up with your initial offer valuation of 150,000 for 5%, especially given how much money you've already had brought into that point and all that?
That's super, super cool question. And it was one of my the most difficult things during the preparation. What kind of ask, with what kind of ask I should go. And I consulted with our mentors, with our venturist guys, with our investors. And here is the logic behind. So there was strategic calculation has been made. So let me tell you the whole story, because it's really kind of interesting judgment. So first of all, honestly speaking, I asked in my mind, I said maybe 1 million for 5% makes sense, and it's really make difference in order to so we can go deeper in with our technology, and we go deeper into the market penetration. And then what did I do? I just look at the statistics. What's the average deal? I mean, those sharks, what's the probability of the deal? In order to increase the probability of the deal, what kind of amount I should ask? It's kind of the second argument, right? And there is statistics opens, and the average deal is approximately from 150 or from 100 till $200,000 in exchange for 30 or 40%. It's kind of the average deal just historically for the last 15 years. So, and I start thinking of, if I go there and ask for 1 million for 5%, obviously, whatever I'm gonna say, it's even if I'm in fashion, also in other challenges that I'm in fashion, that a majority of shark was not exposed to, and for them it's gonna be super risky. That's why I consult also with the venturist guys, and we start thinking that why not to ask kind of the lowest possible amount, because they said, our investors said that money probably we will help you to find in some other sources. But what we really need is sharks on board with their connections, with their kind of network, with their influence, with their power, with their names on board on the MONOSUIT. So, and this itself, like by itself, worth probably millions of dollars. I mean, have that power behind you, kind of saying that, Mark Cuban is like supporting me. It's like a big thing to say, right? And one of our investors even said, why not to ask $0 for 5%? Just saying that, that we kind of, it's so-called advisory shares. We just giving you advisory shares basically for free, and you need just provide some advice, connections, intro, access to the stores, access to the US market, because obviously I moved here 8 years ago from Eastern Europe, but still I'm immigrant here, and I need those to be more, I need connections to be more integrated into the US markets. And I ask producers, okay, I have, here's what I have. Honestly speaking, I need 1 million for 5%, but probability of that is low. And they said, yes, it's kind of not gonna work out. Okay, what we gonna do? I said, our investors say that maybe $0 for 5%. They said, it doesn't sound as a good offer. Okay, let's find something in the middle then. So it sounds kind of certain acceptable amount, but still our investors said that since you already have a product, we already have stores in place like Zalando, Otto, Wolf and Berger, not just Level. We have some stores already selling our product, and we have Shopify, everything basically built. We have just tuned into the wider scale up kind of infrastructure. That's why we don't want to give up like a 30 or 40%, because we are not like a from scratch kind of entrepreneur with just an idea. We don't want to give up such a big portion of shares. So 5-7% we are kind of ready to give up for that kind of advisory perspective. And we start discussing with producers, investors, with mentors, and come up like in the range of 100 to 150. And okay, I say that since we want them on the board of the MONOSUIT, let's go it down. Since you promised to bring the money, I asked them, since you are okay, if you're bringing money, let them bring the connections. And from the side perspective, it looks like I'm stupidly asking the super low kind of ask. My ask was super low as compared to what I raised in the first round, like $2 million for it was approximately 18%. But strategically, it was all kind of well planned. But I know from the beginning it was like a long shot, because there is no right solution here for me, because asking too much doesn't work. Asking zero, producers are against it. Asking in the middle is still kind of doesn't look reasonable. That's why it's like it was super interesting conversation. So we came up 5% and 150 is kind of more or less increase the probability of the deal. So our goal was to increase the probability of the deal as maximum as we can. And it was we were in the range of kind of average Shark Tank deal, but still it doesn't work out. Just probably my hope was somebody from Schemes will be in a panel, because if the scheme sharks there was
is it Kendra? Kendra Scott?
Yeah, she's from UK. I mean, she probably might be super interested, and it should be a super interesting conversation. And I try to contact her. I will keep pushing there. I will try to contact her. I think it's gonna be super cool collaboration and add on Schemes and MONOSUIT. If we add zippers on the butt for their jumpsuit, by the way. It's gonna be good franchise or synergy, or collaboration together, and we add that sustainable technology on the top of Schemes. I think it's gonna be fantastic synergy, but unfortunately that hope doesn't. And Robert not there, Schemes not there, and those guys, they are more like a kind of consumer mass market kind of soap, shampoo, and kind of food type of things, but unfortunately not fashion. But I knew it from the beginning that it's gonna be hard. But from the PR perspective, it worked out well, and we rise actually investments. We rise investments.
I'm sure that you have. I'm sure you've been contacted a ton since being on Shark Tank. How did you get connected with Shark Tank? Did you apply to be on Shark Tank, or did they find you and reach out to tell like, hey, you should apply?
That was a chain of very strange coincidences, literally. Even looking back on those, I was just, there is certain magic happened. Otherwise, I cannot explain it. So it started when I was approached by the quite wealthy person with the Indian roots, but he's American, and he's living in LA, in Newport, and he said that it's like before Shark Tank, I want to buy your business as a whole or just a part of your business. And we have a quite good conversation during the Zoom call. And he said that, okay, let's meet in in LA. I said, okay, I'm in Miami right now. For me, like I have so many reasons to be in LA. I have other things to do there. And I flew to that meeting, cross-continent, and suddenly he got sick of COVID.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I was just, he said that he even that got that like a hoarse voice, and I was sitting in my hotel and I was like, oh my God, such a stupid thing happened. I mean, it's just, I'm here. And we actually discussing the deal of potentially buying a portion of MONOSUIT for $10 million, something like a big numbers. I mean, for me, it's like big numbers, maybe for somebody else, it's not big numbers. And it was super cool kind of preliminary conversation. And I was sitting in the hotel and just saying, oh my God, so stupid things. And it was just a waste of my time. And suddenly, one of our co-founders calling me saying that, Masha, are you, because she called me Masha. I mean, Mia, are you in LA right now? I'm just flew yesterday. I'm just, don't know what I'm doing here because it's just, investor is sick. And I was just, she said that, Masha, tomorrow is gonna be casting for the Shark Tank in LA. They doing it like once a year in LA. You need to be there. Whoa.
Wow, that is a coincidence.
Wow. And I know that normally she's doing our accounting thing, administrative thing, and normally she's not very proactive in those things. I don't know how it was happened that she's calling me saying that, Tanya, you are not taking care of Shark Tank at all. Why you call? It's just some, ads pop up or it's just checking it. I mean, I don't know. I see it. It's just tomorrow. Why you checking it? It's just you are doing accounting. Why you checking Shark Tank? She said, I don't know. It's just, okay. I said, obviously I need to go. And it was already evening and I need to be there. I shouldn't be there at like 6 a.m. in the morning and it's already 8 p.m. the previous day. And I have those like several hours to prepare the pitch because pitch for the investor is not like the pitch for the TV show. How to make it more entertaining and funny. And and I have those 2 hours and I remember I wake to my bed like 2 a.m. and I wake up at 5 a.m. and I went to that casino type of facility, like a 2-way trip from LA. And I stand in the line for probably 2 hours and it was
not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so bad. I mean, 2 hours, for me, 2 hours is like standing in the line. But I was just one of the latest.
It could be 8 or like some people stay in line for like 15, 24 hours for some of these, like, like the America's Got Talents of the world and the, the singing, American Idol and stuff like that. People stand 8, 10 hours, 2 hours. Plus they stand around a bunch of other entrepreneurs and people like to me, that'd be probably the best part about the day is getting to meet all these awesome people I'm staying around.
Yeah. For me, honestly speaking, the most difficult thing to wake up in 5 a.m. after
that part.
And be kind of prepared.
Because you're also on East Coast time. But for you were only there like a day, so like it would be early. Like it'd be like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that helped.
So it actually wouldn't be that. I mean, I don't know what time you wake up in the morning. So maybe you don't wake up till 10 a.m. or 11. I don't know, but for
I'm kind of
me, it wouldn't be.
Person. I'm always went to that because I don't know, for some reason the late evening is always most inspiring, creative, productive time for me. And I was, again, magic happened. I was one of the last people in the line. They said cut because of we cannot accept any more people for today. And I was just literally maybe the last like a second or third from the line. Then they just said, you're gonna be on the last person. Maybe I will not last, but I was just at the end. I mean, and they gave me the bracelet, and there was another. I remember like a 4 or 5 hours of wait in order to be invited into the actual pitching facility. But I agree totally. It was fun because I was surrounded by entrepreneurs, and we were telling the whole stories, pitching each other, and they were so supportive. One entrepreneur even just gave me a lunch for free. I was just, wow, he just paid for my lunch. It was, wow. He was so generous. I was just, and by the way, he was not selected, but I was selected. He paid for my lunch and he was not selected. I was selected.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was just, and it was super fun. I was surrounded. It was a crazy crowd of entrepreneurs. I for some moment I thought I was like a hospital of crazy people. It was just some people just doing like this, some wearing some weird stuff, some advertising cocktails, and everybody like spraying food, or like I don't know. It was kind of surreal. Some guys I remember wearing the whole dragon or the bear suit, like a dolphin suit, like a wow, like it was such a mess. And it was. I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna pitch in some of the entrepreneur kind of producers, but it was just. TV producers. It's not like millionaires. It was just the TV producers that are literally they cast who gonna be next in the show based on how convincing the entrepreneurs are, what kind of energy they bring. They making sure that the diversity is there. And honestly speaking, I would say there are not many women. Maybe there also I have an advantage that there are not, like maybe I would say like a 20-30% of people were women and 70% were men. And interesting that majority of men were kind of age of 50 plus.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just interesting. There is no many young people here. I mean, yeah, but there were some young people, and maybe that's why I have certain advantage of being just a women.
Well, the right person at the right place at the right time. You know, it does play a part, right? Like, because I mean, I don't know if they have a quota or whatever, but like they don't want to get side eye from probably their bosses of like, well, why did you only pick a bunch of 50 plus white men? Like, oh, well, we didn't mean to do that, right? But we didn't really look hard. Like, we didn't necessarily look hard enough or look at it from a different angle of like, yeah, you know, I could see where this might be an opportunity to bring this person or this person or this person, and so you don't end up with just a very vanilla looking crew or similar looking crew of people.
And another, I'm sorry to interrupt. Another magic.
No, go ahead.
There is literally, I cannot call it like, cannot call it other than magic. So there are several, couple of stages. So first, you need to pitch the casting crew. And if it's successful, they will call you in 2 weeks. And they call me in 1 week. Then I was super happy. And then you need to make a video. And I make the whole 10 minutes video about the history of the brand, and saying that Madonna, Paris Hilton, Kylie Jenner wears our clothes. By the way, it was censored. I cannot pronounce it in a TV, but it's literally Paris Hilton DM me in my Instagram asking for the suit. Yeah, and unfortunately, I cannot say it on TV, but I can show you. I sent them a proof because they were doubting. I'm literally Paris Hilton. I sent them screenshots of DMs that she's, and actually couple of weeks ago, Madonna Madonna stylist also asked to ship them the one of the suits, but I have those one with Swarovski crystals. They choose the black one for her celebration tour, for Madonna celebration tour. Hopefully we will see it soon on the Madonna. And sorry for distraction. Coming back to the casting. So I sent the video and I got a message that I need to wait maybe a couple of months. And can you imagine, next day they called me and say
Wow.
they fast track me into that current season. I was just, oh my God. And they immediately set up and Zoom with producers just right that week. I was, oh my God, it's just magic happening. Is it really happening? They just want to fast track me. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And it's literally coincidences. And then I remember that during the preparation process, one of the casting team there, they're so nice people, so supportive. And she said that, just passing by, I remember you got that video. It's just one of the most entertaining video I've got for the last 15 years of me watching those casting videos. And I can say why. Because this video is starting with me opening zippers on the butt. I was stuck on it. It was just, of course it's sketchy. Like, why? She's like, open up the zipper on the butt just right away. Funny.
Well, so I assume you were a fan of Shark Tank prior to actually getting to go on Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess when you once you
it was my dream since I guess maybe childhood, when living in just being honestly living in Russia, in Moscow. I was born in Moscow, and I saw those Shark Tanks. For me it was like a parallel universe. It's just unreachable. Whatever I'm doing, just it's parallel universe. I cannot be, but I won't be at Shark Tank, but I was just not real at all. And it happened, after 15 years of that thought, of that random thought.
Were you I guess in Moscow, do they have Shark Tank there? Or I guess you got access to probably not the American Shark Tank, how did you come across it?
Back in the democratical, more or less good.
More or less.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and back in Russia, it was like maybe 10, 15 years ago. We have a little bit more freedom, and we have access to everything basically in Russia. And I was, honestly speaking, so happy that I moved, and I got an extraordinary green card, and I moved here. I got extraordinary kind of tele green card for the design, and moved here 8 years ago. And yeah, we've got access to everything. And with Shark Tank in Russia, we just we love like dragon version the UK version of it.
Yeah.
And we love Shark Tank. Everybody's seeing it, and everybody know what Shark Tank is back in Russia. And another, honestly speaking, very super stressful thing was about that I'm from Russia. Of course, I cannot somehow affect the fact that I was born in Moscow, and it was back in that casting situation. I was so scared saying that I'm from Moscow, because I thought that I had actually casting experience before to some shows, and I remember some very sad experience when the person, I don't want to say what was the the TV show, but the person said, "Okay, hello, how are you? Where are you from?" I said, I just honestly said, I was born in Russia, and his reaction was like, "Oh, unfortunately, we need to stop the call. It's not because you're from Russia. I have some urgent," and he just stopped the Zoom call.
Is this in the last 8 years since you got to America?
It was like in 2022 when the war started. Yeah, and I got through some casting, and
That's still ridiculous.
yeah, I honestly,
That's-
Joe, I start crying because I cannot affect that fact that I was born in Russia. After that, I'm just, okay, I can change the whole planet, that I cannot change the fact I was born in Russia. I can do whatever you want, but I cannot change that fact. And when I was at Shark Tank, I was much smarter. I was, where are you from? I said, I was born in USSR. That is actually true.
Okay.
I mean, USSR. Where I was born in was just not called Russia. It's called USSR. And I just, okay, since honestly, majority of people in the US, it's turned out they don't exactly know what the USSR is. It sounds similar as USA, but maybe it's something close. And actually,
it pains my heart to hear that. but the truth is a lot of people don't know a lot of things when it comes to like, who's this person?
I didn't mean to hurt or say it, but I just like just communicating to random people, and people know, majority of them do not know where USSR is. That's why if I said I was born in USSR, no any red flags in somebody's head is just popping up. Just okay, whatever. I mean, not Russia. It's good. And they, for them, because I that's why I keep saying that I'm from Miami, from USSR, because I don't want that shitstorm happen on my head, because I'm against a little bit against the war, and I what is happening is just because I have Ukraine genes in my blood, I have Russian genes in my blood, I have UK, even Scottish genes in my blood, German. I want the peace, I don't want to be involved in that. I just very peaceful person, and I don't want to be part of that. That's why when the Crimea happened, I understand that something wrong happened, and I just want to move out of the country, who is like, yeah, and it was such a big, for me, struggle, because I was at the age of, I was at, maybe if I said that I was born in Russia and put the Russia, I was quit of casting. There might be a probability, because nobody wants to be connected with Russian people, because, and I have certain cancellations of even certain stylists said that, oh, you are originally from Russia. I said, I have a green card. I'm a green card. Oh no, I don't want to be connected with any Russian designers. I said, it's so like yeah.
The whole like boycott Russia thing was really, I mean, it was stupid, because the only people you're hurting are the actual people who probably are not very much for this, attacking of their brothers, sisters, and cousins.
Exactly.
That, like, it's absolutely, I mean, I get the sentiment of like, hey, like, we're going to try to punish these people who are, multi billionaires, oligarchs, and all that. Like, but like, ultimately they don't care. They're living their own life in their own little bubble, not in the least bit worried about majority of the I'm boycotting Russia and not shipping things to Russia, or not, and it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We're McDonald's, we're gonna pull every McDonald's out, like,
I mean,
Yeah, it's
I,
ridiculous.
I
But
still living in a 21st century. I still cannot believe that we are like sending people to moon, and we are kind of trying to live on Mars, and we are we're still killing each other, and just why? like it's like a power make people minds twisted to certain extent. I cannot say, maybe if I were a president my mind also will be twisted, but still I don't know. It's like for me it's like back into wild times, when we are living caves, trying to solve the problem with the stones and the weapons, and
a
with
lot
the
less people would be
pointing
dying.
at each other. I'm sorry.
A lot less people would be dying if we were just using stones and
Exactly.
sticks and stones and basic weapons, because
Yeah.
it's a lot different when we're talking about rockets and things being hailed out of the sky at people. And it's absolutely mind-boggling to me that this is still even going on, that this is still a thing. But hey, we were in Afghanistan for way too long, so
Yeah. And another remark, that I want to say, that it's absolutely worth, if you are an entrepreneur, absolutely worth to go to Shark Tank, no matter what. For example, we didn't get a deal, but we got an exposure. We still have that sales coming up, and we can use that kind of branding and marketing, saying that as seen on Shark Tank widely in our ads, and the trust level of US audience is increased significantly. We got exposed to the wholesale buyers immediately. They contacted us. We got a lot of press, and we've got what else? We've got we've actually found super cool marketing guys that I can. We have been searching for super cool marketing guys, and they approach us, and those millionaires who set up that stage and give that opportunity for entrepreneurs to be presented there, and even if they are kind of yelling at you, it's worth going there and being vulnerable, being kind of fragile, being honest, be yourself there. And I'm really feel so grateful for the Shark Tank production team and the Shark Tank show, because they are so professional, so nice people. It's not just because I and because they have selected me, but they are super cool guys. And those millionaires, they have obviously that show for themselves, but they really gave that opportunity for entrepreneurs. And I have that emotional remark. I remember at the end that it was partially cutted, that by my kind of passion in ecology kind of hit me. I said something like, you are capitalist, you are only looking for the money, and you need also not only earning money, but not focusing only on money, but also thinking what is good for the planet, kind of blended all together, money and what is good for the planet. You invested in those I remember that for the kitchen, that soap, dishwashing.
Oh, Blue Land, I think it is.
Yeah, it's like a plastic things. And you're investing in those stupid Chinese plastic toys that are polluting the ocean, and I'm collecting that garbage, and you don't invest in me. No, it was quite emotional, but yeah. Yeah, but I'm still believe that there is we need thinking for every entrepreneurs, because we sometimes and entrepreneurs and the humanity living on the earth, we are behave like kids because we are involved in all those consumerism. We are producing stuffs, and we are not because I traveled 60 countries. I saw those garbage piles and the islands of the garbage in the Atlantic Ocean. And of course, media that we see, all the media, they pre-filtered only the things that they want to see us. Of course, they want to buy us more. Nobody wants to show us the garbage piles because it doesn't motivate to buy more, and nobody motivated to it doesn't help ads running. It doesn't help, and they will rather, media will rather show people killing each other because it's like helps to run ads. And it's always, unfortunately, cruelty is on the top of on the top most viewed shows that involve the cruelty, killing things. And those things like garbage piles and that disaster, ecological disaster catastrophes, it's not visible just because it's pre-filtered. But if you are travel to Latin America, to Africa, to Bangladesh, to China, to Philippines, you see that. You just, oh my God! It's just we need to take responsibility as a humanity. We need to take those companies who are producing those stuff need to take responsibility for the certain moment to make economy works as a circular, accepting those products back and recycle into something new. That's our goal. That's why we rise the second round of investment in order to develop in our technology to make it up to the second level, when we accept our suits and recycle it back into the powder, into the yarns, and to some other designs. So circular economy, actually, that zero waste approach to producing all material things is our next goal, supposed to be our next economy goal for any material, for any companies involved in the material production. Otherwise, we will be just kill ourselves in hundreds of years. We will be totally surrounded by the garbage, And the US, by the way, selling those garbage in Latin America, just percentage of recycled garbage in US is just still quite tiny. It's just below even 1%. It's much easier to sell it out of the country to those developing countries, and those countries like Africa. Of course, they want to receive millions of dollars and allocate certain spaces of lands and just put it there, toxifying the land, whatever. And because of in Africa, a lot of sub countries in Africa, they corrupted, and they just take the money to them. It's what's happening is just it's a few people telling about it because nobody have a motivation to tell it because it doesn't result in any income for somebody.
It's like a teetering effect of we want people to feel guilty, right, and put it on the people buying the stuff that we're selling, but we don't want to actually take responsibility on the business side. And I've seen plenty of videos that showing those mountains of trash, literal mountains of trash in those countries, and it's not just their country that has trash; it's us exporting said trash to not have it. It just disappears, or it's going into clean, and I'm putting this in air quotes for anybody listening to the podcast, clean air, clean trash burning facilities that produce energy, and probably a percentage of it is, but you can't just, the amount of trash that we are producing on a daily basis is not you just can't burn that much and make it quote unquote clean to that extent. I real quick, I did want to ask, did you ever get back with that investor that wanted to invest, that was in L, that you went to meet in LA and ended up on Shark Tank with? Did you ever go back to having any more dialogue with that person?
We're still kind of negotiating because he wants to have kind of 60% of the business. And I have another potential buyers as well. And for me, kind of, I don't have a goal to sell my business as fast as possible because I have pretty much solid business and it's growing. And after Shark Tank appearance, obviously, the valuation of the brand is going up. So my goal is to just being open to potential buyers, but I want those buyers to be also kind of sharing my agenda of continue to develop our brand as sustainable brand, not just because that guy he's more towards mass market, and we are also not fully agreed on our strategic agenda, like going to that developing circular economy and at least have certain direction and sustainability. He said it's already enough as it is. Yeah, that it's also might be good, but for example, tomorrow I have another guy from UK who also expressed an interest of buying a part of my business, and I'm looking for the person who not only can bring the money into the business, but also bring the connection, knowledge, ability to expand. We can share the same passion together, and it might be a partial exit, but I want to make sure that that sustainable agenda and the DNA of the brands will be kept untouched. Yeah, that's why I'm just continue to develop my brand, growing it, make sure that sales are growing, but at the same time having those nice conversation that while people approaching me and see if we have, it's like a it's like a marriage.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's a lot that goes into
You need to keep interviewing people. You need to keep. Well, as soon as you get a match, you get a match. You can.
Yeah, I think that because I would hate to all the effort that you've gone through and then end up having it be just like a piece of a bigger brand or like getting sold off to a bigger brand and it just not even being like a thing, like it's a thing because of the zipper, or it's a thing because of the technology that you're using to make it, but it's not the vision that you put forth, right? Or the wrong person buys it, they mismanagement, and then it just basically goes to nowhere, you know. So I 1,000% understand why you're so so passionate to not want to have the wrong person, or not necessarily the wrong person, but a person with the differing approach to where you want to go. And I bet I wouldn't be surprised if the person that you were supposed to be in LA is kicking themselves a little bit because that was an opportunity for them to get it a lot cheaper. Then you actually got on the Shark Tank and now it's worth a lot more than it was. So
He helped me actually.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, but he helped me.
Yeah. Well, everything happens for a reason. Everything. You just might not realize it when in the moment, but it's coming. So Mia, did you end up having a watch party knowing the outcome of Shark Tank, or did you choose to watch it by yourself?
Oh, we have a watching party. It was back in October 20. Honestly speaking, of course, I didn't, before it was just publicly aired, I didn't have any chance to see how it, everything came up. And I was super nervous because in a contract with Shark Tank, they able to cut and edit and misplace in a way they want actually. And I just signed that. I might look like a foolish person or whatever. And I just, okay, go for it. I mean, just, okay. And it was, yeah, we actually rented out the separate Airbnb like facility to in order to feed all my friends in LA. We have about 25 people, and we come together. It was so supportive. We have a little party, food, and it was when I just appeared on the screen and just like, ah! She like, ooh. It was, oh my God, it was just so supportive. And one of my friends, she just started crying, like, why? Like, it's so unfair. And all those conversations happened. And yeah, it was very, and I was surprised that it was edited and cut in a very good way. No any misplace, and it was just super good. And I thought that the last phrase that I'm saying, that wait, sharks need to go not only for money, they also need to go for good for the planet. I thought they will cut it because it was so emotional, but they left it, and was just, oh cool, they keep it, they kept it, so it was amazing. Yeah, but what was another emotional moment? Then I saw all those comments of just general public in the Shark Tank. Then it was published, my pitch. The comments was like, oh my God, it was such a contrasting comment. Some of the people said, oh, that's the best music, it was the best pitch ever. And some of the comments was just, oh, at least you need to sing on the notes. And some of the comments, oh, she's cringe, stop it, don't do that. Another comment, oh, she's a vibe, her song stuck in my head. Oh, and I remember one of the comments was super funny. It was like this. The guy is just saying that supposed to write the phrase like what is going on here, but in the middle of the phrase he wrote like, what is Bulgarian chick in a body type pink suit with a awkward rap with a Russian accent, having that various ethnicities girl dancing on the background going on here. like this. That comment, like, oh my God. But the most frequent comment was a cringe. I thought, why am I cringe? I'm not a cringe. I'm just, it's just for me, it's just natural being wearing the pink suit in public places. It's not a cringe. Okay, I even start thinking, why I'm just taking that as a nickname, like a Mia Cringe, like a Mia Murr Cringe.
No, you owned it. It was such, it's such an iconic pitch that I could see this getting played over and over again on like the reruns on like CNBC and stuff, because it just is so different, right? And I wonder, like, if because you didn't end up getting a deal, like if you didn't do the song, would your pitch, would you have even made it through onto the episode, right? Because like they don't guarantee you anything until like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before it airs. So like if you didn't have this, would you have made it through? Like if you didn't get without the Sharks or I'm sorry, without you singing, like maybe they would have just cut the whole thing all together. Who knows?
Yeah,
exactly. Like so you just don't know, like some like and we've had that with some of the other people that have come on the show where they're like, was it the air freshener guys, Ride Fresh? They're like, if we didn't call out Mark or make fun of Mark with the LA was it the Clippers or the the Warriors air freshener, maybe we wouldn't have made it on, like, maybe we wouldn't have made it on there, but it was enough of a spark to, like, of an interest, to carry it, to get it on through the show. So you just don't know. And to own, your willingness and your own creativity to want to go and do, this, it just goes to show, like I always say, like, the people that have a lot of negative things to say and they don't have a lot to show for it, like themselves, like, where's their resume? It's just self-projecting, right? They're self-projecting what they wouldn't, like, I don't believe that I could have done this, right? And, like, creativity or not, I don't know that I would have the cojones to do it. So with that said, I can't fault somebody else for owning it for themselves in my mind. So, like, I think it was awesome. And I'm glad that you had a watch party, right? And had that support there with you when you went to watch it. And how, so speaking of that night though, how did the sales and the traffic to your site go?
It's just went up dramatically. It was, I literally got the phone and it's just a notification from Shopify, like a plum, 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 plum. It was just never happened before, even with paid ad, whatever. We actually didn't use the paid ad before. Just with little bit use it, like limited range. We sell through the marketplaces, mostly not from Shopify. And Shark Tank, appearance helps us to boost our Shopify, and we actually got the whole statistics who visit our website, because we being new to US markets, we not quite sure about the audience, but after Shark Tank, we kind of sneak peek who are those people who are potentially our clients, and we can retarget them, and we can find a lookalike audience based on that statistics. So those entrepreneurs who are about to be aired, just my advice, use whatever facilities on your website, tools, applications, whatever sneak peek kind of things, in order to get as much data as you can, because you got that peak of visitors. We got like a more than 10,000 or more than 10,000. In several hours, and we see the audience. Oh, that's interesting. And it helps us a lot in order to stop a paid ad, because we immediately got the information, the statistics, I want to set up it well. And it was like a din, din, din. Oh, it's happening. And then the next day, and it's even till now, we've got we've got pay ad, but we still have some random. We're asking, how did you know? I saw you on Shark Tank, and it was still happening after. It's already December. It was aired in October. And what else? Another thing is that people start recognizing me on the street. So it's I was during the last weekend, I visited the island near LA, and it was called. It was not last weekend, 2 weeks ago. From what the name of that island? Quite famous one. Catalina Island.
Catalina, okay.
Catalina Islands, yeah. And can you imagine? I just like on low key kind of chill in the restaurant. It's just people are just like, oh, I saw you yesterday on the Shark Tank. I'm on the Catalina Island. I escaped already LA. Why you keep smiling? Yeah. But I have another funny thing, that just after the show was aired, I just proudly go to Whole Foods and expect that everybody start recognizing me, and nobody recognizes. I just like, you're supposed to sing on Shark Tank, and just in a Whole Food, I'm already star. Nobody, no. But then, like after a couple of days, they start recognizing me, but it's still not kind of widespread. It's not like a.
Well, what I can tell you is that the West Coast does not watch Shark Tank the way the East Coast does.
Oh,
It's very much after, like it's more of like a Saturday thing. Like they all like seem to have DVR or they're watching it like through Hulu or YouTube TV or whatever after the fact. It doesn't, here on the East Coast, like boom, like you could see the search traffic go through, and I could see it even when I get like my videos up before the episode's done airing, like the first pitch is up before the show's done airing here on the East Coast, like you can see that traffic, and then the West Coast comes and it sometimes it'll like peak. I guess it's just like a week to week thing, but a lot of times it waits until Saturday and then the search traffic starts coming in a lot more. But yeah, you can see it, like go to google.com/trends and you can see like who's searching and when for those specific brands. And the West Coast does not watch it the same way the East Coast watches it. Yeah. With that said, how did you end up coming across my video?
Oh, actually, your video just popped up. The first video, I just started searching Shark Tank MONOSUIT, and your video is basically the first in a row. Oh my God, it's just somebody already made review so quick. It just has been aired maybe 3 hours ago. By the way, how did you?
It was before you, well, because you're on the West Coast. So I almost always have every pitch up before you guys ever get it on the West Coast.
Yeah, it was so quick. I thought, oh, that blogger is so quick and so intelligent. And I, honestly speaking, I was so impressed how you, what kind of questions you kind of asking me, but I'm not them, and how you interpreted it.
Interpreted it
In a way you really deeply understand what I'm talking about, and I was just, why this intelligent guy understand it immediately, but he's just watching it for 15 minutes, but I have been staying in front of Shark Tank for approximately maybe 50 minutes and they still did not get it. But how come? Like, and
I gotta write that down. Intelligent. I'm gonna write this. Tell my wife that.
I was impressed by your analysis, and I was impressed by your support, and I was. Honestly, was so emotional moment. Then you said that your heart is like moving when the sharks said they kind of not accepted and they were not going to be the deal. And you said, why? Like a cow. And I just, that guy, oh my God, he's on my side. Because, that, because in my life, I've got half of the people, even honestly speaking, my mom, my mother and my father, they kind of, I love them, but they always keep saying that, stop doing that. It's just you're kind of, it will not gonna end up with any money. It's just your fashion things, come back to Ernst & Young and doing your financial stuff. What you are doing right now is just not a normal job. You are risking a lot, and it's just, I wouldn't say they were very supportive. I love them, but, and you, for example, I don't know you. Right? And
right, yeah. I mean, this is the first time we met. I don't.
Yeah, and you are supportive. I mean, like, my mom not supporting me, but this guy Joy is supporting me. How come? It's like.
I mean, I know the feeling of not having that support, and that's what, like, so like, some people come in the comments and be like, oh, look at this guy, he's trying to pretend to be a shark or whatever, and like, and speaking of which, and I can say this because it's still Christmas time. Somebody wanted to point out that I have a whole bunch of boxes behind me, and they're like, oh, you got all these boxes behind. Yeah, it's Christmas time. What do you think they are? You think they're just boxes? Like, Just like the big brain people out there, like that think they understand everything because they watched the video and they have something negative to throw, like a whole bunch of shade to throw. But like I said, I always try to say it's them just self-projecting, and that's why I always tell people I appreciate you. Usually I appreciate you watching and commenting, and then that's it. Like, sometimes I'll have something that is snarky to come back with or whatever, but
I saw actually
still appreciate you.
Some negative comments under your videos, and I just, why those guys so aggressive? But there is interesting thing from my artistic background. I have been studied in San Martin's, and we have been studying fine art and fine art foundation, and I asked my tutor. He was quite talented artist. I mean, he's performing artist and also involved in sculpture and painting. What would be the criteria for the artwork to be successful? Because the artwork is super subjective, and you cannot. And he said very interesting thing. He said, "You are successful, and you are probably can count yourself as popular if you have a big contrast in how people kind of assess you. If you have that polarized,
polarized. Oh yeah,
heavily polarized comments, where, for example, half of the audience or kind of heavy part of the audience keep saying that, stop it, blah blah blah, you're doing, and another half, oh, that guy is nice, so you just keep doing it, and because this polarization, that contrast, just boosting you up. And those guys who are saying some negative things, that my teacher said that you need to treat them as they're doing very good thing for you, because they kind of, first of all, find and spend time just type in the comments.
Most valuable thing we have is time.
Yeah, and Number it's just you triggered them to type a comment, and those guys make you viral, and whatever they want. Because for example, let's say if you're somehow familiar with the fine art, like let's say black very contradictory art piece, let's say Black Square by the artist, how it's called? Malevich. I don't know if you're familiar.
I'm looking it up right now.
Malevich,
yeah,
Black Square.
Kazimir Servanich.
Yeah, it's actually
Malevich. Okay, Kazimir. Yeah.
It's actually some of the paintings of Malevich in New York Museum of Modern Art as well. It's quite. I know it's a Russian artist, but that Malevich painting is like Black Square, and when it's appeared on an exhibition, everybody, like half of the audience, said, "Oh my God, this is a genius expression of the war. How you can describe war and those uncertainties in the world, just more than just having that black kind of deadly square. Is just the most deep description of the war, potentially what is happening back in those Second World War." And another part of the audience saying that, "Oh my God, I can paint it myself. Like it's like a stupid piece of a canvas with the black painting. It's just nothing in there. It's just he's bullshitting us, It's just and there was the most genius painting of that time, of that Black Square. Just it was deep meaning into it. And it's actually quite actual nowadays also. Descriptive what's happening right now, or during the COVID and during the war, or during those political things. But it's that's why this contrasting comments and this big polarization in comments make this painting world famous and make it genius. And now it's one of the masterpieces of contemporary art. That's why I would believe that joy, you need to consider what you are doing as an art, as a piece of art as well, and accept those comments that are actually helping you to be on the top of everything and be viral in the same.
Oh, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. First off, yes, you always want to make people feel some kind of way, right? Because if they're in the middle, they won't know how to describe you. Because if they hate you, they know how to describe what they hate, most likely, to be able to tell 7 other people how much they hate it. Or if they love you, they know how to describe it because they love it, and they can tell 2 or 3 other people that they love it. But if they're in the middle, they probably don't know exactly what you're doing or get it, so they don't know how to describe it to somebody else. And in some cases, that'll frustrate people. So like they might hate you, but still not really get it. Like I said, I get comments like, "Oh, look at he thinks he's a shark" or something. Like, no, I don't. I'm here. I'm pro entrepreneur. I'm pro people creating their own things and going and doing awesome things, right? So that's where I'm coming at from to help prop up those entrepreneurs that are out there that might not ever get a shot to go on Shark Tank or to pitch to somebody, or even pitch to just people to buy their product. Like it they have an idea, but they haven't taken that next step, right? So I'm glad that you found the video. I'm glad that you enjoyed the video. I realize that the people that are going on Shark Tank are people versus the sharks. Yeah, they're people too, but they're like playing a bit of a character, an overexposed version of themselves, a grandiose version of themselves. So like, I don't try to hate on them, but like money isn't everything, right? Like to me, it's the third most important thing on the list of important things. It's time, energy, and then money. So like, yeah, they won the game of money, but like, great. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't make them good people. It doesn't make them good energy or time managers necessarily. And even Mark Cuban has said himself, like every millionaire pretty much got lucky in some way, shape, or form, right? Or I'm sorry, I think he said billionaire. It's like they did a thing, they did it really well, they kind of right place, right time. Like he even said, like if I was born like 3 or 4 or 5 years later, or 3 or 4 or 5 years earlier, I might not have been at the right place at the right time to do the things that ended up happening, that I was able to parlay into becoming a billionaire down the road.
Yeah.
And being in that, that just comes down to luck of the draw. Now, about this. So this being painted, is this from like 1918?
Yeah, it's
turns 100 according to this article. That makes it very interesting. That makes it a lot more interesting than somebody painting that today. I mean, artists are never usually appreciated in the time in which they live. So I get it. Like it's very mesmerizing. So I don't see all the things that you're saying about war and all that, but I think it is a really neat piece, and like I could see wanting that piece for like a wall. I don't know that it'd be worth the whatever to get an original of it, but like it's a neat piece. It's neat. I get it, and it's even more neat because of how old it is. Just like the dot paintings, like, oh, was it like the Walk in the Park or whatever painting from like the 1700s or something like that? Like, yeah, it's cool. Like it's a picture of people in a park, but like the reality is there wasn't cameras then. So like, and they did it by dots. So it's like when you actually take all that into account, it's like, oh wow, that's pretty freaking cool. Like, but you had to look at it through those eyes, not in the of the
time.
Yeah, I'll just take a picture of like people in a park, and like that's okay, cool, and that will be cool 50, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, but you didn't paint it with dots. Like that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, it's amazing that you are so well aware that those amazing genius in many different fields, even Tesla, or
the original Tesla or
Tesla. As an engineer, as an engineer, that's artists like Malevich or some other genius people, they was not accepted in that time that they has been living, and a lot of people consider them cringe or crazy, or they need to be burned in the fire because they kind of doing something against religion. But after a while, it's obvious they were visionaries. I mean, that hopefully the vision of circular economy, zero waste, is gonna be super boring things in a perspective of 10 years, maybe. And nobody laughing at me, and I shouldn't explain in such a detail that it's exists and that it's a kind of natural way of approaching to producing material things rather than just producing it and it's, for me, is also quite a natural thing should be to incorporate that recycling component in the price of every material thing, because now they kind of producing, now we are kind of producing as a factories, whatever, as entrepreneurs, and we are not taking care at all about how it's going to be recycled. And some of the products are actually, while they are break down, they might be a big poison. They might be like a heavy metals might be in there, and nobody care. There is no any regulations. There are some regulations for some businesses, but
for the things that we know about,
Yeah,
like
just
talk
all
about
of
black water and the PFAS and stuff like that.
Yeah, but majority of regular things that producing in mass market path, nobody take care. In the future, when we, for example, if we can back to the future and see it, how come they can produce in everything and just throw it to the ocean? Are they crazy? It's just, but now it's just nobody cares.
Well, Toya, was it Honda in one of their commercials? Now they talk about like one day we're going to take your old Honda and turn it into your new Honda, and but that's like so that's like a commercial thing that like maybe 30 years from now they'll be like getting closer to doing that or really starting to actually do that on the regular as part of a function. I mean, look, there's plenty of things. It's like you look back and it's like, well, we gave people heroin, right, in Civil War and revolutionary time, or I guess Civil War times, and then opioids just 10 years ago, 10 15 years ago, like there's opioids are everywhere, right? It's the pain medicine of the future. It's like, wow, I can't believe we did that.
Exactly.
I was just watching Johnny Harris today, and he did a whole thing on supplements, and I knew a lot about the supplement industry. I was not regulating all that, but I didn't realize that some of those supplements actually have like dope in them, like steroids in them, and some in trace amounts and some in not so trace amounts. So people taking it don't even realize they're taking they're taking some significant amount of a steroid in something that they're just like, I looked at the bottle and it said I get to better memory and faster reflexes and can stay up for 3 days at a time. I don't know why it's ginkgo biloba or something. Like, it's okay. Well, it also might be like the steroid that's in there. That's not regulated.
This is honestly speaking, that's the second important thing that is a bit disturbing me. The medicine that we are consuming so much of those chemicals. There are some studies, of course, they pass through, but they are so commercialized, and people keep pushing of accepting those supplements, and so many supplements have so many side effects. You didn't expect that it's side effect of this particular supplement. You thought it's just a headache, but we need to be so careful. And another thing is just I notice I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit out of context, but let me share.
No,
the
go ahead. Go ahead.
story. You can
We're
cut
2 hours into the podcast. Like it's,
you,
whoever's still here
you
with
can
us,
cut it
you're
if
very
you don't like
appreciated.
it. But it's about medicine because it's the same kind of I would say toxic kind of direction humanity is going. We need to do something with it. So I have in US, I noticed because I'm from Europe, and I see that in US you have or we have I don't know how to say it in a more polite way, different way. So in US you have so-called post kind of reaction medicine approach.
Oh yeah.
How I can describe it in the right word. So you kind of everybody in all doctors are ready to help you only after you probably have cut it or you have already cancer on the last stage, and in Europe we have so-called
Preemptive.
preventive medicine. Yeah. So we
preemptive. Yeah, preemptive.
yeah
And preventive. And
preventive or
preemptive.
preemptive, yeah.
Yeah.
So our insurance are covering an analysis, and person, if you see some signs, you already need to start doing something rather than wait until it's kind of developed already to the final end.
Does this tumor look bad to you? I can't tell. Like why did we wait until it's this mess? And I shouldn't be making light of it, but that's the fact of it though. That we do we treat symptoms. I don't love the fact that we have commercials for medications for us to be our own advocates. I mean I think that you need to be your own advocate, but think about how much cheaper medications would be if we weren't spending all that on marketing. Think about how much insurance would be cheaper if we weren't spending every commercial break everywhere in the world, or everywhere, at least in America, was a Geico commercial, a Progressive commercial, a Geico commercial, Progressive commercial, and then some other there's so much money that's just being burned for the sake of like free market. And I'm not saying I'm not free market, but I'm just saying that like certain things should be like a human right kind of thing.
Regulated in a good way.
And there's a better balance to be struck than what we're doing here. So
exactly. And specifically, I just tell you one interesting story. It's related to my cat, because why my cat? Actually, we are cruelty-free brand, and we don't use any, by the way, animal fur, or that's why I love animals, and I have that cat that I bought in Miami from Miami breeder, and after her being sterilized, how it's called in fixed, like
sterilized.
in Russian.
It's the right word, but yeah, no, it's
in kind of in Russia I would say it's sterile. So yeah, it's been fixed.
You're a little more direct over there.
I was like fixed, yeah, and he's got some reaction, and he's got a heart attack, and she's literally. I bring her to the emergency room, and I didn't have an insurance for her, and it took like in order to my cat be in an emergency room, they charged me $2,500 per day, and doctors basically doing almost nothing. They just keep her in an oxygen box and just observing her, and they call me in today saying that nothing they can do. Her heart is 50% twice that it's normal. Her lung full of water, and probably they said we need to put her on sleep. They need to sleep her, and I was just like a. No way. And they keep pushing me, kind of here in Miami, by the way, is clinic. They keep pushing me, saying, "And no, based on our statistics, it's not possible. And even if she survives, it's gonna be another maybe couple of days, and she will struggle." And just to make story short, I said that, okay, I will write whatever papers you need. They said they will complain into the Animal Protector Society if I take her from them, and they just insist me on putting her on sleep. But what I did, I said, no, whatever you want to do to me, but don't touch her. I actually during 3 days, I have just 3 basically days and nights, I go through the whole cat cardiology books. I investigated, I read through everything. I understand actually the cause of the disease, and I understand what kind of treatment needs to be done. And after 1 month of that treatment, I don't have any medical education, but I just good in logic and not following the protocol, because they following the protocol, being afraid of being sued. She, after 1 month, she's totally, absolutely healthy cat.
Wow.
That make me think, how many people has been killed following the protocol during the COVID? Can you imagine? Because people just trust doctors. Never trust doctors. Always read books. Always read. Educate yourself. Never trust doctors. I face so many situations here in US and specifically because in Europe, they normally do not follow protocol and they don't afraid to be sued. They kind of use certain creative, but in a good way, creative way, how to, they can use certain medicine and see what gonna be reaction. But in US, they use specific doses to certain kilos, but it's just people that, the body is so fragile. Human body is so fragile. You always need to be so careful with all those medicine. And for me, that situation with the cats makes me think that so many animals and so many people has been killed for the sake of following the protocols and not being sued. I was just, because they said that she will die in 3 days. No way she will survive. No way.
And they wanted to keep her, so that'd be a $10,000 payday for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, plus the put down fee.
Exactly. Yeah. They said, yeah, you can keep her for another like $6,000, and you can need to pay for another couple of $1,000 to make her just put on sleep. I was, oh my God, such a commercialized medicine for you're supposed to save animals and people's life, but absolutely focus is switched and twisted to the money. It's just another war that is happening within the people, but it's like a silent war and nobody's telling about it because nobody honestly do not have a proof. It's difficult to prove it because they kind of disclaimer everything.
They are also people, right? Like that's the thing I try to come back to, and that's why like the number one thing people always say, get a second opinion. Like, oh, the doctor said like, it's nothing, right? Okay, cool, but it's clearly still affecting you. So go find another doctor, right? Like there's plenty of them around here because that's part of the free market as well, which is good, right? It's versus like, hey, this is the doctor, and like if you don't live in this county. Or, like, if this is the doctor for the county and that's it. And like, you're done. Like if that doctor says other, you don't like what the doctor has to say. Oh, well, you can't go to the next county. You can't go to the next state. Heck, you can't go to the next town or next zip code within that town to go get, a second opinion on it.
Best cardiologist for the whole Florida. They said it. They claim it as the best cardiologist.
For cats?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't know that the cat have a special cardiologist.
I mean, look, so everybody has can specialize in anything, right?
Yeah.
I could see why it'd be $2,500 a day when how many cardiologists are there in Florida, let alone the country? Maybe there's like 400, 300, 400, 500. I don't know, but a specialist that's a cardiologist for cats when we're like euthanizing dogs and cats like all the time, get them spayed or neutered all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Bob Barker, right? Like that was his thing every time. Like get your cat spayed, your pet spayed or neutered. Sterilized as you was so
I sometimes misuse the words.
no. So yeah, no, I would definitely always advocate for a second opinion. Anytime, you have as an entrepreneur, right? You have a business, you have a thought, you have a plan, spin it to somebody else and let them like come back and tell you what everybody has different life experiences and different life experiences and other real world examples of like other books, documentaries, other inputs that they've taken in to be able to give some kind of advice, and like doesn't necessarily mean it's right. It just means like, okay, now I should go and get some, get another input from somebody else, and then you take that and you find what's going to work for you. I think the thing that bothers me the most about what you said isn't necessarily that they chose their diagnosis, is that they tried to threaten you, like blackmail you, that like, hey, we're going to make your life more difficult. Like we're going to introduce another thing. So not only is your cat not in great health, but if you take your cat, we're going to like sick these people on you because you're the bad person.
Yeah, they keep saying that
the alternative is we're going to kill the cat, like, and we're going to hold on to the cat till it's time to just say, okay, now we're going to put the cat down, and here's your bill for $12,000. Have a great day.
Yeah, I got that feeling. Maybe I was wrong, but I got the feeling that they kind of want to squeeze more money from me and kind of keep pushing, makes me scared. They even describe that, can you imagine yourself in a pool that are underwater, you cannot breathe, and your cat is experienced exactly like this, and you keep pushing her more, and she's struggling, she's suffering, and you don't need to put her on sleep. It's what you are doing, just grabbing your cat to home. It's just grabbing your head home is just absolutely wrong. You need just to continue, keeping in the oxygen. And another interesting thing, I said, okay, I know it's a little bit Russian approach. In Russian, look, we kind of use that. I said, okay, you know that you said that another day will be, you said 2,500. Okay, what's the cost of your, what's the price of your oxygen box? Obviously, it's cheaper than that. Can I buy your oxygen box? I said, and she was just she didn't expect that approach, I never heard that maybe somebody wants to buy the equipment and grab your equipment from the
probably cheaper than $10,000. That's most likely for sure, right? You just need the oxygen tanks. Yeah, I mean,
scared, and she's scared like I can never sell it to you because you're supposed to have a medicine license, like a doctor license. I said in Miami.
Let's go to Amazon.
I said in Miami. You think in Miami I cannot buy oxygen box? It's maybe in California, but in Miami I can buy everything.
I'm gonna break somebody's heart here. What does this say? $61 for a atomization nest, cat and dog box oxygen inhalation.
Yeah.
So for under $100, and they're all like that same price for like $60, and delivery by, the delivery by might be a sticking point considering your cat was like, actively struggling.
Yes, we don't have time for delivery. We overpaid 10 times, and we bought an oxygen generator that is like suitable for human. It was it cost us $600, but we bought it immediately within 1 hour from the medicine kind of warehouse.
Yeah.
Bring
There
it
you
to
go.
Uber and put our cat under the oxygen immediately. It was funny. She was, nobody sell it to you because you don't have a license. Nobody sell it to me. No, it was just interesting conversation. Are you trying to save the cat's life or what? I mean,
No, trying to justify the fact that we're one of 500 cat cardiologists in the planet, or in the states, probably more or less. For all I know, there's one per state. You know, that 50 of them to 100. I mean, you figure two per state, and some states aren't going to have any because it's you know, Utah or like Arizona, like maybe one in Phoenix, maybe, but yeah. So yeah, that's I'm sorry that your cat had to go through that. I'm glad that you took it into your own hands, and I'm glad it ended up working out.
Absolutely healthy cats, because everybody keeps saying that she will be like under medicine through whole her life if there is a tiny chance. But honestly speaking, I use the creativity a lot. I know that was quite risky, but if doctors cannot apply creativity, I understand that they have certain rules to follow. But if they kind of give up, okay, I use my creativity and books and understanding how the body works. Yeah, and I use some medicine, and I, by the way, consulted with some Russian doctors who also have creative approach. And we make her put back on a. It's not the best way of actually treat cats, but if you don't have any other chances and everybody gave up, it's always useful to fight.
Did that so that was actually an oxygen generator box? So that wasn't just like, that was just a chamber. That was like a plastic and fabric like crate, effectively, for pets, right? So that's $60. So yeah, so like, yeah, you did good. You did good. So growing up, what was your childhood dream?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I have kind of several passions. Since in my childhood, I vividly remember time that we don't have anything to eat except for the potatoes and some vegetables we plant on our tiny piece of land. And for me, the nature became truly my kind of second mother. I really felt quite thankful to the nature. So I felt that I need to give it something back to it. That's why I was start thinking how I can make the planet a little bit greener, better, and cleaner. It's my kind of giving back to my childhood, because the land and the nature, not the government, keep feeding us.
And governments are temporary. Nature's for quote unquote forever.
Yeah, because in that time, back in that time, shops were empty. There was a huge shortage of food. You cannot just casually go to the Whole Food and buy things, or whatever grocery store. You either need to plant it yourself, everything, or you need to stand in long lines, like in a Shark Tank similar way, just only to buy a kind of couple of breads or a little bit, cheese or something. You just need to stand in the line. And I remember my mother sent me just to kind of keep certain, to keep the certain place in the line. So she will come back in 2 hours, and I'm always approaching the cashier desk in order to pay. So it was a big struggle. But me as a kid, I didn't realize that how might be in another way. So for me, it was just, okay, we're just playing games, standing in the long lines, planting potatoes. It's just funny life. But now thinking back to my childhood, I understand, wow, that was that was actually a struggle. That's why that's where my second passion came out, since we don't have even clothes to buy from in a store, and we don't have money, and the stores was empty back in the USSR, in Soviet Union, and I kind of start kind of recycling. Upcycle the clothes of my relatives into something I could wear myself, and I found myself that I'm like it. I remembered one day I grabbed my mother's dress and cut the sleeves and cut the skirts so it fits my little 5-year-old height. And I approached my mother and said, "Mother, Mom, I'm just I'm just invented something very fancy and designish, Mother." That was my favorite dress.
Oh.
I was just, oh, maybe I'm not that talented designer. My mother is just shouting at me for cutting the dress, but it was just, I didn't realize that it was that it was her probably the last dress that I cut. But my mama doesn't like my arts, my what I'm doing with her dress. I mean, my goal was to make her happy with my creativity, but she was not happy. Since that time, she's not supporting my fashion. Because I'm cutting too much. So that's why I started thinking, okay, I love fashion, I love nature, but it looks like they are contradict to each other, because fashion is one of the most polluting industry in the world. How I can love nature and love fashion at the same time? I need to find some sort of balance. And I found it through that recycling thing. So I'm at the same time doing good things for the planet and for the nature, and at the same time doing the fashion things. So I found that synergy, amazing synergy in doing two my passions together that at the beginning looks contradictory. By the way, I love combining unexpected things together. For example, pitch for the business show. I mean, musical pitch for the business show, or nature and fashion together, or singing stuff and fashion stuff together. I mean, because it's just creative energy that got certain forms. I mean, the energy of creativity that you kind of shape them in a certain forms. It might be a fashion design or music or creative approach. In business is just creativity flows.
No, that is also, that's one of the things, doing, interviewing people that have been living their dreams for the last, I've been interviewing people for almost a decade now. That's the thing, is like people that are really living their dreams are in some way, shape, or form bringing it from their childhood. It might not be exactly what they thought it was or intended, but it's brought them. What they're doing now is like, it might be the root of what they actually wanted to accomplish as a kid. They just might not have realized that at the time. So that is absolutely awesome to hear that you've been able to blend all those together. Now, what does the future of MONOSUIT look like? Obviously, you have a lot of investors and things circling around and all that, but what's the future of the actual business look like to you?
For me, first of all, to follow our sustainable mission, make it really circular. So it's one major goal. So at certain points of time, we develop technology so we can accept the things we produced and recycle it back into something new. Because now we are halfway through We just get the garbage and recycled into the clothes. Now we need to have another to make the circle, make it really zero waste. It's the goal. Also, we keep expanding into US markets, scale up our business in US markets, and we our goal is to go into different niche like a ski, the yoga, and also travel lovers, and also dance clothes. So to be more kind of specific audience oriented, to tailor our product to specific audience, and expand. Now we understand what kind of what pieces and what colors, what designs are really performing the best as the best sellers, and we kind of focusing on that. And now we will approach by the wholesale buyers, and hopefully we're gonna be soon in all the major stores in the US, hopefully. And also, what else? We also thinking of setting up another production close to US, probably Brazil or maybe Mexico. It still needs to be done. It's not easy. At first I thought that might be China, but all my tries to make a sustainable product, transparent, produce them in China didn't succeed. Maybe I tried the wrong people or wrong companies, but I did many attempts. But yeah, I gave up a little bit on China. To bring another production close to US, and we see US as our key market, and also expand further to Japan. We also see a lot of interest in Japan markets, Korea, South Korea, and became more and more international brands. We already have so many celebrities on board wearing our clothes, and just keep awareness, keep rising awareness of the people about eco consciousness. Eco sustainability, and trying to make people make conscious decision about what they are buying, why they are buying, and trying to all together make beautiful products that making money, but at the same time doing the planet cleaner, is what I said at the Shark Tank, and have fun.
Ding ding.
Make sure that we entertain people as well at our social media.
Absolutely. Well, I've gotten to watch a lot of your posts and things like that, and it definitely is entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So how can people get their own monosuit?
Just go monosuit.com. Monosuit.com and buy one. We would appreciate if you can support us, because with every piece you made, every person who bought a monosuit make a real difference, because you literally clean up the ocean, one monosuit at a time. Yeah. So I appreciate your support, my goal is to bring in as much value to the customer as possible, and I don't want to make any compromise on just making kind of ugly sustainable clothes. I just want it really to be functional, to be comfortable. I'm wearing right now, by the way. It's just for every types of sport activity and parties, and look fancy and fashionable and sustainable at the same time, because I see that some brands are fashionable and stylish, but let's say Louboutin shoes. I know it's like shoes, but still it looks like very sexy shoes, but you cannot stand them literally more than 15 minutes, then you need to sit because it's beautiful, sexy, but you literally cannot walk in them. It's just kind of wearable art. And some brands are sustainable, but they look so ugly. I mean, it's just harsh, and I try to blend all together. That it's actually challenging again. I challenge myself how I can do affordable product, being beautiful, fancy, soft, sustainable, fashionable, and functional at the same time. So it's quite challenging. The product might look simple, but it's not. It's not. You can buy obviously a catsuit on Amazon for $10, but no sustainable involvement, no breathability, no enough stretchiness, no thermal, no hyperallergy, no zippers on the butt. You will be struggling in the dress room, and all these things. It's just premium product, and it's worth it. Yeah.
I mean, if people, if you're looking to get a monosuit, you should absolutely go to monosuit.com. Hopefully to some big retail box stores, like you were saying, right? I with like a Nordstrom or something to that effect. Is that?
Yeah, we are currently negotiating with Nordstrom. Hopefully, within half a year it will.
Oh, that would be awesome. Mia, I really appreciate you taking the time. I mean, this is like one of the longest interviews that not the longest interview I've ever produced, but like of this Shark Tank Tale series is one of the longest ones. So I really appreciate you taking the time and being here with us.
Such a pleasure talking to your questions are so smart, and I really feel that connection, and you are really passionate about what you are doing, supporting entrepreneurs, and you're such an intelligent person, and you have that unique combination of being smart and being emotional and being supportive. It's rare. It's a very unique blend. Yeah, it's because it's always emotional, but not that deep on the surface. Or it's like smart, but it's boring, and you have amazing intuition as well. I feel that. Yeah, that's so cool. Very interesting.
Oh my God. It means the world to me. Anytime that the people that this is meant for actually get it, because when we get the people that are just like, I'm just here for Shark Tank, shut the hell up. Like, yeah, like go to who, like, I try not to say that, because not just because I want people to know that I do appreciate them, and haters need to be hugged too. But also because not everybody that's writing those comments live in a country that has the capability of getting access to it.
Yeah.
But that's also not my problem, because that's not what I'm doing this for, right? I'm not spending 2.5 hours on a call with somebody who, talking about their business and their life journey, because I want as an excuse to share Shark Tank on YouTube in a copyright friendly-ish kind of gray area way. Like, that's not it. I mean, look, if they take that from it, great, good for you. That's awesome. I'm happy to oblige. That's why I spent. You asked how I get it on Fridays. So up so quickly. It's because I sacrifice my Fridays. I don't hang out with my wife or my family Friday nights, starting at 8:00. We do everything before Fridays. Usually on Thursdays, we're doing family night stuff on those weeks that are Shark Tank. 26 episodes, 24 episodes. That's 24 weeks, 26 weeks out of the year. Last time I checked, there's only 52 of those. So like half of my year is eating up on a Friday night, so that these get the maximum amount of views, maximum amount of exposure, because that's when people are actually searching for this stuff. And I do it for the people that care, that care deeply and are thoughtful about what they want in life. And that's what the whole super thing is. It's not about me being super. It's about me wanting you to be super for yourself and the people around you. Yeah, that's what it's about. So
absolutely share your values. I just feel that connection and your values. Absolutely, you're
likewise.
Sacrificing because of you're passionate about, and deliver that message. Make sure that everybody is heard in the right way, and absolutely. You kind of, it's like sometimes it's like for some it's like an invisible warrior, invisible in the way that some people get so many insights from you, and they just silently like watch it and just disappear, and you kind of is like work so many good things you've done to them, and bring so many good things. I mean, and invisible, I mean, you sometimes do not even understand how important
I've gotten a couple of those comments, right? From people that are like, you really helped me get through this really tough time and all this stuff. And it's like, I'm just trying to I'm just myself. And I think that also kind of gets lost on some people that like, they're so used to the fake and they're so used to the what's the word? Now I'm having trouble with words. Trimmed or contoured appearance. And the fake doesn't necessarily have to mean bad or negative, but just it's not as genuine or as authentic. Or like, I mean, this is me. I love business so much. I grew up in it. I've been in this stuff since I was like 6 years old. So like. Mia, what I wanted to be when I was 6 years old, not so much in business. I wanted to be a child psychologist to help other kids going through divorce like me. That's what I wanted to be. Eventually, when I turned 10, I wanted to be a DJ. I eventually got to do that. I didn't do the child psychology thing, but I've gotten to speak to a lot of kids at like events and things like that. So I've gotten to live that out. And then I've really gotten to live it out through these types of interviews over the last decade. So it all comes together. It all comes together in one shape or another. We just don't quite know. I mean, I'm not a big school buff, so for me, like 10 years of school to be a psychologist was not gonna happen for me. But then I got to be in business, the whole business thing. So, I grew up in a family business. So for me, like getting to help other people, like that just amplifies the message, right? And that amplifies you as a business owner. Now you take some of this information, you take some of this inspiration, and you impart that upon your team, and then they go home and they impart that upon their people, exactly. and that's what it's about, right? It's like making the biggest amount of impact to the most amount of people. And business knowledge, because I stand on the shoulders of giants, it titans in the industry of the trucking industry. Growing up, like I got to experience that firsthand, working in a warehouse from the age of 6, like sweeping floors, counting inventory, stocking shelves and stuff like that. So for me, like I get to take, like I watched all this and grow from up and then take that information and bring it to people and be like, when I say like, I've been around business for like 30 years. Yeah, I know I'm 37, but I've been sweeping the floors and stuff since I was 6. So like. Yeah, I do. There was that funny joke. It was like somebody was applying for a job and they're like, "Oh, how have you been? It says you have sales experience of 20 years. You're only like 28 years old or something, or 29 years old." It's like, "Oh yeah, because I had to sell all those candy boxes at school, fundraising and stuff like that." That's sales experience right there.
Yeah, it counts.
Yes. You don't walk in being the owner of a business tomorrow, right? Like, it's like, oh, how much experience do you have in like managing people or whatever? But part of managing is also being managed, right? The student, being a student before you become the teacher. And even when you're the teacher, you're still a student. I still see myself as that in that role every single day, right? If we're not learning, we're not growing. If we're not growing, then hey, we're dying, right? So like when I watch these videos, like I don't know anything about the fashion industry. I know numbers, systems, processes. I can deduct reasoning. Sometimes I kind of understand that, like, this kind of sound like this some extraordinary circumstances that are being presented here. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I'm not really here to call anybody out. But hey, come on the show for an interview and we'll have a conversation. And some of those people don't reach out. And I'm not here to say that, but like, it's just like, to me, it's like you read between I start reading between lines. And if you read between lines of what I'm saying, sometimes you'll get like, I'm being positive because I want to take it at face value. But I'm like, this is like extraordinary.
Yeah.
So maybe it's true, but then those people are the ones that generally don't reach out. So not that they have to, it doesn't change my life one way or the other. I just love having great conversations talking about business. Mia, I really appreciate you taking the time. We definitely should stay in contact. I'd love to have you on in the future for updates and see how things are going. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for inviting me and having those conversations and your questions. I mean, your YouTube channel is amazing. I will recommend everybody to see.
Thank you.
And for educational point of view and for entertaining point of view, and spread the good reasoning. You have very, very good kind of positive logic and reasoning, how you approach to various businesses as like a very kind of balanced and nice critiques. I mean, yeah.
Well, thank you. It's all on the fly too. I don't edit it, and that's what I think a lot of people don't really understand either. Is that this is all in one take. I don't edit it unless I have to for like copyright purposes. There's a couple of videos I have edited it a little bit, but for the most part, like I just say what's coming out of my mind, right? And I'm hitting pause and I'm saying stuff. A lot of these people that are like, oh, I'm a business guru person and take my courses, like, dude, they curated is the word I was looking for earlier. They've curated what they're going to say. I mean, even the Sharks, right? It's 50 minutes. So how many dumb things did they say that just never made it in there? Not dumb, but just like off the cuff, like maybe it's an obvious thing.
Like I said, there were some obvious questions that I was surprised, and of course they will cut it out because they kind of
like, oh yeah, that seems kind of like yeah. So anyway, I appreciate you making it all the way to the end of this video. I know it's long. It's been an awesome time. I hope you've taken so much from it, the stories, this experience, everything Mia has been able to bring to us today. So thank you. If you haven't watched her pitch and her amazing song, go click on up here. If not, I'll see you in the video down below. Take care. Now go be super.
Yeah, it's also, by the way, music. I mean, that music pitch available on iTunes, Spotify as well.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, as a song, as a separate track. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.